one of the favorite targets for all carnivores. These gregarious animals move in herds numbering from a few to many hundreds of individuals. During the mating season, herd size will change as bulls isolate and defend females in estrus. Because they remain in herds, they benefit from others by collectively checking for danger from predators. Large herds also confuse predators, and only sick, old or lame individuals that cannot move at the pace of the herd, thus becoming prime targets during predator hunts. The first impala sensing danger is alerted and immediately signals by snorting. This immediately alerts the rest of the herd. Instantaneously, one notices that all then stop grazing and look up to try and identify where the danger is coming from. They tend to look immediately in the direction of the first one who gave the snort. Once they notice the predator, they start moving away slowly. Sometimes individuals approach the predator to apparently get a better view. You may be lucky to see them on the run. This is exciting to watch as they sprint away by not running in a straight line but dodging among the bushes, rocks and trees. This makes it more difficult for the predator to follow, as usually when a predator attacks, they go for the legs and rump. Notice how they constantly change their direction of flight, making it difficult for the predator. To add to confusion, the herd of impala scatter in all directions. Herds on the run are a sight to see, as they can leap up to 3 meters high in the air and jump up to 12 meters across obstacles. This makes it difficult for the predator to keep track of the prey. The herds are managed by the bachelor, and juvenile and female impalas belong to the superior male. Breeding takes place in autumn, and at this time intense rivalry builds up between adult males with loads of snorts and grunts. They will resort to threatening displays, horn thrusting, and occasionally fatal duels with each other. When a lone male impala intrudes upon an existing herd, it is allowed to pass through the herd untouched, providing he does not interfere and keeps his head lowered and his ears back. The others will then leave him alone and let him pass through safely. Dogs also do this too often. If he shows any interest in the female, he is quickly driven off by the dominant male. The impala is known as nature's high jump expert. This beautiful prancer has the grace of a ballet dancer, yet is extremely elusive and gentle. When moving slowly, you will notice that it moves with a slight hunched back, while its tail presses tightly against its hindquarters. His ears flick frequently and lots of foot stomping also takes place. Impalas are hunted by hyenas, leopards, lions, cheetahs, jackals, wild dogs, pythons, and large eagles. Kudu. Kudu are immediately noticeable by their long twisted horns reaching up to 1.6 meters long and thin vertical white stripes in wavy vertical lines down the body and rump. They have large ears and a white stripe across the face from eye to eye. They have a white fringe of hair from the throat to the base of the neck. Their long twisted horns are more prominent on the male than on the female, who have no or very small horns on their head. Adults weigh up to 250 kilograms and live for about 15 years. They are normally active in the early morning and late afternoon, where they are seen at waterholes, whereafter they move on to grazing fields. During the heat of the day, they are difficult to spot as they tend to stand near dappled shade of trees, which offer an excellent camouflage. Observed in the open field, you will notice that they are very wary and ready to sprint away. The kudu is a gentle animal, preferring flight to fight. Enraged kudu bulls, however, at the height of the mating season, become very aggressive toward other males, often causing serious injury to each other. During these fights, horns sometimes get inextricably locked and both animals die an agonizing death. The kudu has the loudest call of any antelope and sounds like a penetrating hoarse bark. When they are frightened and flee, they lift their tails over their rumps and fan out a white undersurface as a warning signal to others. If sufficient cover is available, the animal tends to first assess the situation and then only will dart away if they regard it as necessary. High fences are no deterrent to kudu. The long arcing leaps of kudu over district roads has caused many a collision with vehicles, especially at night. They will graze on anything, even on crops and tobacco fields, making them widely hunted by farmers. They have no problem living on the fringes of human habitation. They mate between June and August, rearing their young in summer. When the calves are born, they are normally born and hidden in long grass to afford them the advantage of camouflage. For the first day, the mother will remain with the newly born and then later rejoin the herd. The cow regularly returns to the hidden spot till the calf is able to suckle on its own and move with the herd. This can take up to 1 month. Kudu are well known for jumping fences. They can jump 3 meters in height without a problem from a standing position. They feed both nocturnally and during the day, which means that they will be encountered walking around during a night safari. Kudu prefer grazing the leaves of certain trees. Grasses supplement this diet. Often one will notice that a kudu grazes for a short while from the leaves from a certain tree branch. It then moves on to either another branch, but usually to another tree. This is because many of the trees from which they eat become bitter when disturbed too much, and this causes the kudu to move on. Nature uses this reaction to prevent the kudu from eating all the leaves off the branch, thus protecting the tree from overgrazing and dying. Once trees exude these bitter tannins, they have time to recover from continuous grazing. Leaves are the producers of energy by means of photosynthesis, so they are vital in continued growth and health of the plant. Sometimes they are seen to dig up soil with their horns. This is part of the mating ritual. Kudu prefer savanna woodland with scrub forest and prefer moving close to rocky outcrops and riverbeds. Springbok. Springbok occur in the open grasslands and arid regions of Namibia, central and southern Botswana, and in the Northern Cape. They inhabit karoo-like semi-arid regions where the grass is low and the vegetation semi-arid. And like other antelope, they have successfully adapted to thrive in dry climates. The Springbok is South Africa's national anthem and sports emblem. Sportsmen and women who have achieved the highest levels in sport are referred to as Springboks. These animals are cinnamon brown in colour with a white underbelly. The white separated from the brown by a dark brown band on either flank. It has a white trunk with a white tail and a tuft of black hair at the tip. The backs of the forelegs are white and the fronts of the hind legs are white. The Springbok has a white throat and face with a dark brown line from the corners of the mouth to the eyes. These animals look very similar to the impala, but the white face and curved inward horns are easily identifiable. When in danger or through sheer joy, the Springbok executes a series of balletic, stiff-legged high leaps known as pronking or stotting behavior. During this jump, The back curves out prominently. Springbok can leap over 3.5 meters high. A distance of 15 meters at full gallop reaches speeds of 90 kilometers an hour. This is, however, no match for predators such as lions, cheetahs and leopards, which are the traditional enemies of this fleet-footed antelope. Springbok are gregarious and often roam in groups of over 100 individuals. The dry months see them covering vast distances daily in search of grazing, and they associate loosely with animals such as wildebeest, blesbok and ostrich. While feeding, they often dig out roots and bulbs. Most springbok lamb are born in the rainy season when the grass is green and food plentiful. The mother hides her newborn offspring in bush or long grass for where a day or two it remains absolutely still. After 3 days, the lamb is able to flee when disturbed or threatened. Historians have often written about the renowned treks of the springbok. Thousands upon thousands of individuals would migrate over considerable distances, moving instinctively towards areas where rain had fallen. They are known to follow thunderstorms to first-hand enjoy new green shoots. These so-called tidal waves of animals are unfortunately not known today anymore. Springbok venison is highly regarded and is in demand both locally and abroad. South Africans love springbok biltong, which is a dried and spiced strip of meat, a real delicacy. These animals are ideally suited for game farming and be contained by ordinary fencing and have a high reproductive rate.